One message. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our seated position. So whatever easy cross feels right tonight. So whatever that is, and then maybe you switch your cross, maybe you don't if that doesn't feel right. And then just start to settle in. Just kind of rock a little side to side and then move the flesh out from underneath your bottom. And then just let your body start to find some stillness. And then let the outer eye start to soften down. And now start to feel the shoulders sink down and back. As you start to feel your hips land on the earth. Start to feel the lift from the crown of the head as you sit tall. And then just soften a little through the belly. And as you sit here, just start to follow that rhythm of your breath as you breathe slowly and deeply in and out through the nose. Just noticing where you're holding or any of those tight, sticky spaces to begin to send your breath to. And with every breath you take, just see if you can find a little bit more ease. And this week we're continuing in with the karma and samskara. And this is all about action and its imprint. And just have your box for class tonight and your blanket underneath your seat. So referencing again, Luke 6:31, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So karma, as a reminder, means action or activity that produces a result and leaves behind an energetic impression inside of our heart mind. So today's class is all about karma and samskara. So also, as we talk about this action, we also recognize that non-action is the eventual goal, acting directly from our unconditioned, pure inner self with no attachment to the results. And non-action means acting selflessly and offering the results to the divine, to God in us. So yoga is about opening ourselves up to improvement and new ideas rather than remaining stuck in closed loops of deep subconscious patterns. Because whatever thoughts and emotions we experience on a regular basis remain available to us in our heart mind. And that's even, I think, why Jesus said, we follow our hearts, and that's what the Father hears is our heart. So we have to make sure our heart mind is in a clear place. So every single thought, word, deed, and impression affects us in some way. So we're working toward the goal of making our actions positive and helpful all the time, which will then in turn make others around us happier and healthier and move us closer to experiencing that divine inner light of awareness within us. So today, maybe something spoke to you, or maybe it's something else altogether. Just start to breathe in your heart's intention as you just feel the shoulders soften even a little bit more as you find a little more ease. So an invitation for a mantra tonight can be, I give to others what I wish to receive. And just let everything from the day just continue to melt down into the earth and let it go. And just bring yourself here to the now. As we start to just soften our fingertips down in front of us, and then slowly humble ourselves forward to just soften and let go of anything else that we're holding on to in our mind that's keeping us from being present here now. So fold and walk forward, and then just begin to gently rock your head a little no. Perhaps you wish to rock it a little yes. And then just begin to find stillness with that head. And gently rise as you sit tall. And then just draw the arms up over the head. And now gently revolve, slowly soften the hands down to where they fall. Let one hand come behind you. And just feel the beautiful lift as you twist. So we're going to keep that front hand wherever it's holding, either on that thigh or that calf or that ankle. And then gently inhale up the rear hand and gently lean diagonally forward like you're reaching towards the opposite knee. Start to feel the rib cage expand in all directions. And now inhale, come back to the top. And inhale, reach both arms high, and then revolve the other way. Let the hands soften down as you keep lifting tall and softening the shoulders down. And now just to begin to expand that side body, let's reach that rear arm high to the sky. Gently lean towards that opposite knee. Let the gaze fall where it will. And now gently inhale, come on up, and then reach both hands up. Let's soften the right hand down, reach over. And then inhale, rise, soften the left hand down, reach the other arm over. And now inhale, come to the center. Let's just switch our cross. And then we're going to fold again forward. So once you switch your cross, gently fold forward one more time. And just observe how it feels now. As you just continue to breathe through those tight, sticky spaces. I give to others what I wish to receive. Just humble yourself here to receive what you need from God. And then gently come back high. Slowly walk your hands up. And then we'll inhale the arms up. Gently revolve again one way. Softening the shoulders down as you lift the crown high. Now gently just turn your gaze forward, looking over your front shoulder. And now we're going to keep the front arm wherever it is and just cross that rear arm in front. So you're crossing at the elbows or forearms. Let the forehead or let the gaze fall down towards the earth. And now slowly draw the hands to the shoulder blades as you hug yourself, and then draw the gaze up and just gently twist to each side. Let the gaze just stay with the elbows. One more time. And then we'll come back center and we'll Reach those arms back high and then revolve the other way, hands soften down. As the shoulders continue to soften down, keep lifting high. And now gently soften the gaze over that front shoulder. And now gently release the rear arm, cross it in front, reaching for the opposite thigh or calf. Let the gaze fall down. Breathe through the back of the heart. I give what I wish to receive. And then we're going to slowly, gently draw the hands to the shoulder blades and just slowly draw the gaze up. And now let the elbows reach one way and then let the gaze reach the other as you gently twist. And last time. And then come back center and reach those arms back high. And now gently soften the right hand down one more time. Really feel that side body expand. Glue the hip down. And then inhale, reach the other arm up and over. Feel the expansion. And now inhale, rise. And now soften the hands down in front of you. Just keeping the ankles crossed, gently press yourselves forward. And we're going to come into our tabletop position. So feel free if you want to use your blanket under the knees, keep it there. And then let's bring our hands down to meet the earth under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let the feet relax back and let's just soften the belly a little bit. Let's start to just follow that natural rhythm of our breath. Let that exhale move the back body high as you round up like a cat. Slowly letting the inhale bring you into your cow. So just start to flow. And one more last time, just like that. And then let's slowly flex the feet, tuck the toes underneath, and just sink the hips back. Let's walk our hands forward into child's pose as we just start to open up those feet. Let the belly land on the thighs and just rest here. Imagine you're breathing in through the soles of your feet now, into that foundation. I give what I wish to receive. And now let's slowly inhale, come back up onto our hands and our knees. I've got a little helper here. And now we're going to send that right leg back. So send that right leg back. And then we're going to draw it over to that left corner edge and begin to look over that left shoulder. And breathe. And then we're going to just start to move the gaze down between the hands. Keep your foot where it is. And we're going to inhale up with that right arm and let that foot just gently pivot as you expand the hand up to the sky. As you give to others what you wish to receive here. Sometimes we're giving to others by giving ourselves this peace so that we can give them that peace. So let's start to move our arm around now. Circle it down and around just a few times, just to open and release the shoulder a little more. Last time around. And let that hand float back down to the earth. We're going to kickstand that left foot toe over to the right side of the mat and then draw that right knee behind the left And then sink your hips back. Got lots of puppy action tonight. Now just start to breathe through those hips as you soften. Let all parts of you just find a little more ease here. You start to feel the back of the heart expanding, just to receive from the sky above you. You let heaven rain down. And now begin to find the expansion again through the fingers. Slowly inhale, come back onto your knees. Let's lengthen that right leg back. Draw it back behind that right hip. So now press those toes into the earth. Let's lift up that left knee and just pause here. Breathe here. And now let that left knee find the earth again. And now draw the right knee back down. And then let's switch sides. So now let's move over to that left leg, send the left leg back in space. Just feel that hamstring lengthen out a little bit. And then we'll slowly draw the left foot over to the right corner edge and begin to look over that right shoulder. Let's see if you can find a little more space through that side body. So when you're ready, just start to let the gaze fall back down to the earth between the hands. And then inhale, slowly reach the left hand high as that left foot finds the earth. Expand into all that you are as you remember, I give to others what I wish to receive. So now start to circle the arm to release the shoulder. Perhaps the gaze starts to follow the hand or not. And one more time around with that arm. And then just let it float back down to the earth. Slowly pivot the hips. And now draw the right toes to the left side of the mat. And then draw the left knee behind the right. And then sink your hips back when you're ready. Let yourself just soften now. And receive what you need here. So that you can give from this expansive space. And when you're ready, just start to spread the fingers again wide. Inhale, rise up to the knees, slowly lengthen the left leg back, turn the right toes back, and then draw the left foot behind the hip. And now press the toes into the earth, press the palms in, and then hover the knee. Lift the knee. And remember, if there's ever any pain in those wrists, I do recommend putting a small washcloth underneath to lift the wrist just a little bit. And now exhale, lower the right knee and then let the left knee follow. And then let's just take our hand width forward with those hands. We're going to come on down to our elbows now. And now slowly walk the legs back. Come into your plank pose. So let's breathe here. And I'll give you one optional progression for this evening. So you can stay exactly as you are or gently tap one knee down at a time. Just gently tapping the knee, barely touching the earth if at all. Feel that core shaking. Continue to breathe. Perhaps 1 or 2 more knee taps each side. And then soften the knees down slowly. Let the belly soften down. Let the feet relax back. And then just peel those elbows underneath the shoulders. Turn or open the fingers and look forward as you let the glutes relax. Just breathe here for this moment. And let's just do a little cat-cow here, releasing through that cervical spine. So slowly exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, look down towards the navel. Inhale, gently look forward. Slowly curl in as you look down to the navel. Slowly inhale forward. Exhale, tuck. And one more time, just like that. So making whatever adjustments, we're going to come back up into our kneeling plank. So slowly flex the feet, lift, keep the knees into the earth, lift the hips, and then add on with those knees. So you can stay here or join me for just gently pushing up because we're going to push back into down dog. So come on up, one hand at a time, and then start to shift the hips to the sky and walk the knees out. Just start to pedal those legs out. Let the gaze go to where it wants to go. And when it feels right, just find a little bit of stillness. We'll create some space here in the sacrum. So let's start to spread the feet to the outer edge of the mat and just start to rock the hips side to side. So today we're just going to gently still the hips now and just slowly walk your hands back, soften the knees. And find this kind of small straddle forward fold and just gently rock here. Perhaps you wrap your hands on the elbows, find whatever bend through those knees you need. So now begin to soften your hands down. Let's turn the heels in so the toes are pointing out, and now the knees are going in the same direction as the toes. We're going to squat down into our Malasana or yogi squat. So maybe your forearms come between the legs and you press your palms together. If you need a block, grab it to bring it underneath your seat and just pause. Find the length through your spine. And now gently soften the hands down. Let's slowly lift the hips, turn the toes forward. So now you're in your forward fold and just hang here. So now we'll begin to just slowly roll up. So take your time and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And then gently draw the shoulders up, back, and down. And now just stand tall. So we're going to gently walk to the front of our mat. So let's step 1 foot at a time, heel, toe, and do a very nice mindful step. So you can just feel all parts of the sole of the foot as it comes down. And then find your way to the front edge of the mat. And now let's take our inhale. Draw the hands down to meet the heart. And now soften the gaze down. Let's slowly let the eyes soften down and just start to rock your way forward and back. And then find your position here in space. Spread the toes far, deep, and wide. Lift the inner arches. And now maybe you open those eyes. We're going to do a little balance work here. So let's shift the weight to the left leg and hover that right foot above the earth. So breathe here. And now we're going to send that right foot forward, point the toes to the sky. And remember, if you need support, use the wall, use your table. Slowly draw the foot, hover it underneath you. If you need to, touch down. Totally okay. And then send that heel back in space now. Keep that heart forward and high. Now draw the heel and the foot back under you, hover, and then send it off to the side. So now draw the foot underneath you and then slowly draw that right foot across in front of the left. And then inhale those arms up, let that right arm soften down. And now inhale, come center, left arm softens down, right arm over. And now inhale, let's draw the hands back to the heart. And now uncross that right foot, see if you can hover it again underneath you. And now let's go into reverse. So slowly draw that right leg back off to the side. This time maybe reach with that left arm reaching off diagonally. You can reach that right hand down the thigh. So now draw the hands back to the heart, draw the foot back underneath the body. Now send the heel back in space and maybe that heart comes down a little bit like you're moving to warrior three if you wish. So slowly begin to hinge at the hips, keep the flexion through that right foot. Draw the inner thighs together. And now slowly draw that foot back under you one more time, reaching forward, send that heel forward. And now with that heel forward, just gently press your palms forward, lengthen those arms forward. Now draw the hands back, draw the foot back and pause it underneath you. And now gently shifting our weight to both sides. I apologize, my music is switching tonight. It's doing something funny. So pause here and just gently recenter yourself. So rock your weight forward and back, especially after that balance work. That left foot's gonna now get a break. So now once you feel the four corners anchor in, spread the toes far, deep and wide, plant them in again. Lift the inner arches, inner thighs. Tuck the tailbone down. So now let's slowly lift, hover that left foot above the earth. And now as you challenge your balance here, send that heel forward, toes to the sky. And now slowly hover the foot back underneath you, touch down if you need. And then just draw that heel back in space. Now slowly draw the foot back under you and then now draw it off to the side, out to the left. Pardon my dog, she's begging for treats even though she's gotten them. So now hover the foot and now cross it in front of the right and lower that left foot down. Reach your hands high and slowly soften the left hand down, reach the right hand over. Let the knees soften as much as you like. And inhale, rise, soften the right hand down, left arm over. So now come back to the center, draw the hands back down to the heart. Slowly uncross the foot, lower it back down, just kind of find your position back in space. And then we're going to go reverse. So let's slowly hover the left foot. Now draw it off to the side. And now maybe you add on with the arms, reaching diagonally with the right arm, reaching the left arm down the leg. Draw the hands back to the heart, hover the foot under the body. And then send the heel back. Maybe you come forward even more now into warrior three or stay high. Draw the inner thighs together. Pause and breathe. Feel this, the length from the crown of the head through the heel of the foot. Now slowly, slowly come back. Hover the foot, touch down if you need. And then send the heel forward, toes to the sky. Now send the palms forward as the arms lengthen out. Breathe. You give to others what you wish to receive. And now draw the hands back to the heart, draw the foot back underneath the body. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive. Bend the knees, soften the hands down to the earth. Now draw your blocks in. And just pause here, shake out the head, perhaps shake out the hips. And then we're going to go ahead and step that right foot back. So taking your time, stepping the right foot back into your lunge position, just pause. And then we're going to soften that knee down to meet the earth, perhaps with a blanket or not, and then release that foot back in space. You can draw those blocks underneath your shoulders and start to bring your body up. Maybe you wish to stay just as you are tonight, or maybe you wish to bring your hands up. Wherever you are, maybe you just practice closing the eyes gently. As you recognizing how it is you wish to receive, so that you can give that to others. So if you'd like, we're going to begin to revolve. If you'd like to bring the right hand down, go ahead, or gently revolve here with the hands at the heart, and then soften that right elbow down to the outer left thigh. And now gently come back, soften the hands down, and let's sink our hips back. Begin to gently hug through those hips. And now let's gently shift our weight forward. We're just going to pivot that rear knee. So begin to kickstand that rear knee. So now the toes are pointing down that long edge of the mat. And we're going to gently come on up. So let's inhale, rise up. And then when you're ready, soften, sink forward so the knee is over that ankle. Your kneeling warrior two. Your arms spread along the horizon. Maybe turn the palms up to receive what you need here. And now gently soften that left arm down to the forearm, or the left forearm down to the thigh, and inhale that right arm up overhead into that kind of kneeling gate pose, or gate pose, or kneeling side angle. Now let's take our inhale, lengthen out that front leg, let the right hand float down the thigh. Feel that stretch. And then let that right hand float down underneath the shoulder here, pause. And then reach that left arm overhead. Feel that long straight line. So now soften that left hand down and just walk your hands forward. And now just turn the left toes so that they're facing so the foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. And then sink your hips back. Gently turn the toes to the sky. And breathe through your inner thigh. As you freely give to others what you wish to receive. And in order to give to others what you wish to receive, you have to first receive to give from that full space. Now gently soften that inner edge of the foot down. Gently come on up and then walk forward as you kickstand, turn that knee forward and then shift the weight forward once again. So once again, if you'd like your blocks, grab your blocks. Breathe here as you breathe into that hip flexor. And then let's slowly flex that right foot, lift that knee, pause here. And we'll revolve here. So now soften the right hand down, inhale the left arm up. Now tuck, if you wish, the back palm down to the low back as you soften at the elbow. And now slowly release, stepping back with the hands, reaching both hands down. And now sink those hips back, pyramid pose, and breathe here. Once again, hug through those hips. And now soften at the front knee, slowly shift your weight forward, step forward, and fold forward. And just between the two sides, we're going to do our gorilla pose here. So we're going to lift up our left foot and bring our left hand underneath the foot. You've got a ring on, you may need to turn it. So you're just going to bring your hand underneath your foot because you're going to massage your foot with massage your hand with your foot. And then do the same thing with the right hand. Soften at the knees as much as you need. And now just massage your palms with your feet. Just take this moment to breathe as you let the wrist relax. And now let's release both hands one at a time. And then we're going to come on up into our active back extension. Inhale, rise up, fingertips to the shins, shoulders down and back. Now draw the fingertips back to the hips, inhale, rise, and then draw the hands high and down to the heart. And now inhale, and now let the hands soften down behind the back, interlock the hands, charge those knuckles down, look high. Draw the shoulder blades together as the front heart opens. As you freely give to others what you wish to receive. So now maybe you stay here or maybe you start to soften and fold forward. Let the gaze soften, let the hands soften, fold down forward, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart, and then lift the arms up overhead once you get there. Just take a moment to lower the hands back to the low back, unlock the fingers and switch the interlock to just change it up between the two sides. And now soften the hands back to meet the low back, soften the hands to the earth now. And then we're going to step the left foot back. So take your time, wiggle the foot back, walk the blocks back. And then when you're ready, soften that knee down, release that foot back. So when you're ready, just start to peel the hands up. Maybe you keep your hands on the blocks, or maybe you draw them up to the heart. And maybe you just start to soften the eyes. You feel the left hip flexor expanding now. We're going to start to revolve. So either let the left hand float down or gently revolve here. And then maybe you tuck that outer elbow into that outer thigh, that left elbow. And now gently, slowly revolve back forward, release. And then soften the hands down. And then we're going to sink our hips back, lengthen out that front leg. Now slowly shift your way back forward. Let's slowly kickstand that left knee. So now the toes are pointing to the long edge of the mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly cartwheel up with those hands and come up into our warrior two, our kneeling warrior two. As you reach the hands along the horizon. Gently turn the palms up to receive what you need here. Now turn the palms down toward the earth. Slowly bring that front forearm down to the thigh and then draw that rear hand in front of the body as it reaches overhead to find your gate pose. Turning those low ribs gently forward. Now take your inhale, come on up, lengthen out the front leg, reach the left hand down the thigh, over. Feel that stretch diagonally. And then soften that left hand down under the shoulder. And now reach that right arm overhead, feel that stretch. From the toes to the fingertips. And then gently bring that right hand down. Just walk your hands forward. And then once you find your way forward to your hands are in front of that left knee and the right knee, just start to sink your hips back with that nice long right leg. And then turn, if it feels right, turn those toes up to the sky. Let that head soften down as you breathe into that right inner thigh. And now gently bring the inner edge of the foot back down and come back into your hand, onto your hands and knees. Inhale. And then gently walk your hands back forward as you pivot that knee forward, turning the toes forward. And then we're going to shift the weight back forward. Maybe you grab your blocks again. So now let's slowly flex the rear foot, lift the rear knee. And then we'll revolve. So drop, lower the left hand down under the shoulder as you reach that right hand high. Feel the belly press into the thigh. And then either keep the hand there or tuck it down and back. Breathe. And now gently exhale, soften the gaze down, lower the hands down, frame the front leg. Slowly exhale, sink your hips back, hug the hips in. Feel the heel, the rear heel sink down towards the earth. So now soften, bend the front knee, slowly step back forward. Forward fold, hang here. Maybe you wrap one arm at a time behind the calf and then reach behind the shin or the calf and then reach for the opposite shin. And then the other hand comes back behind and reaches for the opposite shin. So now begin to bring your hands back to meet the earth. Step the left foot back and then the right. Find your downward dog again. And now let's soften our knees back to meet the earth. Let the feet relax back, and now draw those knees open. And then we're going to sink our hips back, and we're going to bring our blocks in if you have them. Bring those blocks in, and then let's bring our elbows onto those blocks, our forearms onto those blocks. We'll draw our palms together, and we're going to let our head hang in between those blocks as we bend the elbows reaching back. Let the fingertips, the thumbs reach for the cervical spine. And breathe through those triceps. And now soften the hands back, remove the blocks, and just sink back into child's pose, your standard child's pose. Let the belly soften between the thighs, let your head rest on the earth. Just feel those big toes touching. So we're going to do one last little bit of work here. So let's slowly come back up onto our hands and our knees as we draw our knees in. We're going to come back down to our forearms, and we'll interlock those hands. So interlocking the hands and gluing those pinkies together, gluing the heels of the palms together, and then now draw the elbows underneath the shoulders. So now we're going to come up into our dolphin pose. So flex the feet and lift the hips high. So you get to choose and experiment here. You can walk the feet a little further in if that feels right, but just notice those shoulders. Are you collapsing? We want to keep the shoulders plugged in and back so that we're not wearing them as earrings. And while we're here in dolphin, if you'd like, you can lift one leg high to soften the knee, open the hip. Slowly release that foot down, and then now lift the other leg high, soften the knee, open the hip. Slowly lengthen out the leg, walk the legs back into plank pose, pause and breathe. Now soften the knees, relax the belly, relax the feet, release the hands. And now let's just take a moment to look back, looking back over one shoulder at a time. Inhale forward, exhale, look over the other shoulder. Inhale forward. Let's take a moment just down here on the earth, on our belly, let the head soften. Maybe look one way. Take a moment to look one way. We'll stay there for a few breaths. And now gently flip the gaze, look the other way. Only lift your head enough to flip the gaze. And now let's just bring our gaze back to meet the earth. Tuck the chin, lower the forehead down. Let's draw the hands under our shoulders. Elbows glued in, press yourselves up and back. Sink back to child's pose one more time. Maybe you bring your hands by your heels or keep them where they are. And we're going to plant the seeds from class tonight into our heart and mind by moving our crown of our head to the earth. So let's draw our hands by our feet and then bring our hands behind our back into that weird interlock. And now slowly shift your weight onto the crown of your head as you lift the hips, and then draw the hands up overhead as you plant the seeds into your heart mind from today's class. I freely give to others what I wish to receive. And you're nourishing those seeds with the heart mind, with the mind above the heart, so that you can come from this place of what you have received this evening. And now soften the hips back and down, soften the hands by the feet. And then slowly draw the hands under the shoulders, lift the head. Take your time. Slowly shift the weight. Might be a little dizzy after that too. So now shift yourself into the center of your mat, and then we're going to roll down, especially after that last little bit of work. So just come on down. And just find your way down to the earth. And let's take a nice long body stretch. Send the fingertips overhead. Lengthen the toes out. Expand in all directions now. Feel the toes spread wide, fingers spread wide. And then draw everything into the center. Draw your knees in and rock. So just go into what you need here. Maybe it's a little happy baby. Maybe it's a little straddle baby. Whatever you need here, just find it and get that last little bit of movement for that back body. We'll do one final revolve before we move to Shavasana to just rest from our class and receive that final bit of restoration. So whatever now feels right to move into stillness, just start to draw both knees to the chest. We're going to lengthen out that left leg, send that left foot forward, draw the left hand to the outer edge of the knee or thigh, and then reach the right arm to the horizon as you draw that knee over. See if you can anchor in with both of those shoulders, or just send them towards the earth as you look to the right hand. And now gently inhale. Just let that right knee just fall open like you're doing your tree, but just for a moment here to give you that last little bit of hip opening. And now draw the knee up and let that right foot lengthen out as you draw that left knee in. Now hugging that knee with the right hand, reach that left hand out horizontally as you draw that left knee over and look to the left hand. So once again, we're just trying to spread the shoulders onto the earth to anchor us here. And I know there's going to be that left shoulder gently off, but work to start to bring them lower as you look to the hand. Now gently bring the gaze up, draw that knee back, and just bring that foot to the inside edge of the thigh, and then let that knee fall open into tree. Send the energy out through the right heel as well while you're in your tree pose. And now slowly lengthen out the left leg, and one more time, drawing the body into a ball. Hug the knees in, draw the head to the knees, rock it out, and then one final squeeze, squeeze it in, and then let it all go. Let yourself now just soften and surrender and melt down. There's nothing left to do. Just be here and let yourself receive everything else that you need now. All the work is done. It's time to rest and restore. So just imagine that I am coming around each one of you and tracing you with a piece of chalk. It can be whatever color chalk you wish for your aura. And as it traces, starting at one foot, tracing around that foot, feeling the leg relax, around the hip, as the hip softens, rib cage softening. As the arm starts to let go and the hand starts to relax. Feeling the shoulders soften down. And now the head. As the entire head starts to soften, almost as if it's belting into the outline being traced around you. Feel the other shoulder soften down. And the other arm and hand. Now tracing along the rib cage as you soften, as the hip lets go and the thigh softens. As the rest of the leg softens, tracing around the other foot and along the inseam, so that all parts of you can now melt down into that and let go. This pure being of light here and in this space with God in you. As you practice doing unto others as you wish done to you. And as you begin to invite in a beautiful inhale, just feel the belly rise. And exhale with the open mouth exhale. Perhaps one more just like that. Open mouth exhale. And maybe just start with that finger dexterity, just touching the thumb to each finger. And maybe circling the ankles a little bit here. And just moving the feet to bring you back. And then whatever you need to do to bring you back, just start to soften, draw the knees in perhaps. And just roll to one side, whatever's calling to you. And just rest for a moment. And then when it's right, just gently press yourself up to seated. And then just move your seat away and soften the hands outside of the hips. Soften the gaze down. Now, whatever color chalk you pick, just imagine that you're creating an aura around you with your hands. So slowly turn your palms up to the sky to seal in that light. As we put the light of God and remember it, we just remember it here now as the hands float down to our heart center, as we seal this into our heart mind of doing unto others as we wish done to ourselves. Slowly exhale as we soften the gaze down to meet the heart with this open heart mind. I freely give to others what I wish to receive. From my heart to your heart. Wishing you guys just a blessed rest of your night and evening. And namaste. Thank you, lady.